Everybody, it's another episode of the pre-show with your host, Alan the Intern. And today's guest, we got TSN's Aaron Broadstetter. Okay, everybody, my name's Alan the Intern, and I'm here with TSN's Aaron Broadstetter. How's it going today, man?
I'm good, Alan. Hey, thank you for having me on.
There's a lot of fights that are coming up. Do you have anyone in particular for MMA that you're really looking forward to?
I think there are a lot of really good ones coming up, and you look down the divisions. They haven't really booked Francis Ngannou versus Lewis yet, but that's a really good one. I'm really excited for the McGregor and Poirier rematch, the trilogy fight. I think that's going to be an interesting one because it's going to determine how the dominoes fall in the lightweight division. I think the lightweight division is the most interesting division in the UFC and has been for some time. So those are the ones that I'm really looking closely at, that I'm eager to see what happens. I love the Jan Blachowicz and Glover Teixeira fight. The idea that Glover Teixeira in his 40s might become the champion after really, kind of chipping away all these years is really cool to see.
To be a really good fighter, you need to have good striking, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu. So if you had a chance to make a original fighter with good striking, jiu-jitsu, and wrestling, who would it be? For example, I would pick GSP for wrestling, Masvidal for striking, and jiu-jitsu, Royce Gracie. Who would be your ultimate fighter?
For wrestling, I choose Ben Askren. I always thought that his wrestling got him to become a champion in promotions like Bellator, won championship, just solely based on how good he was as a wrestler. So if you had that in your back pocket and your striking was even a little bit better than Ben's, I think that's a good start. In terms of striking, well, I'm going to build a heavyweight. I'm going to go with Francis Ngannou striking. It might not be the most beautiful striking out there, but in terms of just the sheer power, you can't teach that. So if you have Ben Askren's wrestling and the striking of Francis Ngannou, you're already doing pretty well. And then when it comes to grappling, I would use Charles Oliveira. I think that the way that he's adapted jiu-jitsu to mixed martial arts is the most effective way that anybody has to date. We see it now with him being the champion in the lightweight division. So that would be my build-a-fighter, so to speak. And I mean, if you can do jiu-jitsu like Charles Oliveira in the heavyweight division, you'll tap everybody out in like seconds. So that's my build-a-fighter, is you take all of those traits, you put them into a big heavyweight, and you just go from there.
Wow, this interview with Aaron Broadstetter is going fantastic. But first, let's take a quick commercial break. And after the break, we'll get to the rest of the interview.
Hello, I'm Sean MacNeil, owner of TG Marketing. We are a promotional product company located in Regina, Saskatchewan. Originally founded by Tom G. MacNeil in 1985, we are now in our 35th year of business. My brother Ryan and I, along with our great staff, have carried the torch since Tom retired in 2011. For those of you who don't know what we do, we sell items with a company's logo on it, like clothing, pens, phone chargers, Bluetooth speakers. The list of products available is endless. Our products are a great form of advertising. Whether you want to give a gift to a valued client or show your appreciation to your staff, we have a friendly team that can help find the right product for your needs. The key to our success has been our customer service and our vast knowledge of products in our industry. We ask the right questions to get you in line with the proper product for the project you are working on. Stop by 1046 Winnipeg Street and view our showroom. Get some ideas for that next promotion you're working on. Let's make your business what everyone's talking about.
What do you think about Masvidal versus Nick Diaz, avenging his brother's loss for the BMF title? Do you think that would be a good kind of fight, or kind of just let him?
I don't know about this whole Nick Diaz thing. I mean, the last time a guy won a fight was, I think, 10 years ago. I think this year is going to be the 10-year anniversary of his last win.
Oh, damn.
I mean, I hate the idea of putting him up against somebody as good as Masvidal this early. I think you have to see what this guy has to offer. You put him up against one of the older, like a Matt Brown or somebody that's older, and just see what he has left before we start making these fights with him against top guys. I mean, I know that you're going to want to put him against somebody marketable and you want to, make the most of his comeback, but I just think you're putting him in a major position to fail if you're going to put him in there against a guy as good as Masvidal.
Fair enough.
But hey, I mean, if they offer the fight to Masvidal, I think that's a good opportunity for Masvidal. I think that, that's up to the UFC on what they want to do with Nick Diaz. But if they call Masvidal's people and they say, hey, we want you to fight Nick Diaz, I mean, the answer should be yes. That to me is a fight that would get Jorge Masvidal off the couch.
Fair enough. Yeah, I would think that'd be a really good fight. Going back into more of a fantasy kind of thing, what would be your Mount Rushmore of MMA fighters? If you got to pick 4 guys of all time, and etc., like who would you choose to be on your Mount Rushmore?
Okay, if we're just talking just fighters, John Jones, GSP, Khabib, and Anderson Silva, I think would be my 4. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody obvious, but off the top of my head, that would be my Mount Rushmore.
Fair enough. Does Conor McGregor or Ronda Rousey have anything kind of thing? Do they have any consideration?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what Ronda Rousey did was unbelievable at the time. I think people forget because of those 2 losses that she ended her career on and how she handled those losses. I think people forget just how good she was and what she was doing to everybody. She was must-watch TV. And I mean, I think Conor really helped put the UFC on the map. I think in terms of what he did for the sport, you certainly would consider putting him on Mount Rushmore. And not to mention the way that he beat Jose Aldo. People forget that at the time, Jose Aldo was considered among the top pound for pound guys in the sport. And he beat him in 13 seconds, right? So, yeah, I mean, I think that if you were going to take anybody that I mentioned off, it would probably be Anderson Silva, maybe Khabib. I don't think Khabib has the greatest resume. I just think that the way that he beat people was so dominant and that undefeated record is very difficult to retire with. My 2 people I would have to have on there are John Jones and GSP. And then everything else is kind of gravy. I think that you can make a short list of 4 or 5 people after them that you could put on.
Yeah, I totally agree with that because those are pretty.
Even Chuck Liddell you could mention. I think Chuck Liddell, if you're going to talk about Conor, talk about Chuck Liddell as well, former champion, a guy that really put the UFC on the map as well.
That's also true. Going for the next thing, talking about, because I'm thinking about one guy. I always like watching Donald Cerrone fights. He's unfortunately been on kind of a losing streak. Do you still see him being in the UFC, or do you think he'll go to belt or one? What do you think's next for the Cowboy?
I think he'll do one more fight in the UFC and they'll go back to the drawing board after that. I think if he loses, he'll be done with the UFC. And the UFC will probably release him. He seems like he's been a really good company guy for all these years, and that's something that the UFC would do. But I think that's what we have to see. Let's see how he looks in his next fight. I think Dana White has come out and said he's going to give Cowboy one more fight at 155 pounds, and we'll see how he looks.
But you did a lot. You interviewed everybody from Dana White to GSP to Cormier, etc. Do you have a favorite interview out of all of them? It's I know it's not picking your favorite kid, but
a favorite interview subject?
Yeah, favorite. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, Dana White for sure. It's not a hard question for me to answer. When I'm interviewing Dana, I always try to rise to the occasion. It's I find this to be a real challenge. You have to really know the nuances of interviewing him and trying to get the best out of him on any given day. He's the person that I always will enjoy interviewing the most. I don't even have another answer for you. That's how much I enjoy interviewing him.
Is there anything else you'd like to add or like to plug in for our viewers from the RP show to know about?
Check out the TSN MMA show. It's our podcast for MMA at TSN. And all of our interviews are on tsn.ca/UFC. Ultimate Fighters airing on TSN. All the events air on TSN. So if you're listening to this and you've made it to the end of this interview, you probably know all this stuff. But either way, I'll give it a plug. I appreciate you having me on, Alan. Thank you so much for thinking of me, and I'd be happy to do it again whenever.
Oh, that sounds great, man. Thanks again for doing this interview. It's been quite a pleasure, man. I'd like to thank my interview for today, Aaron Broadcenter, for having a great interview. Now it's time for the main event. It is the Rod Pedersen Show. So this is Alan the Intern signing off. Enjoy the show, y'all.
We welcome to the bunker a very long-time friend of ours, Al Murray, the assistant general manager of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Your Lightning won last night, Al.
How about that?
Hockey is the toughest sport for the top team to win the championship, because we really have had high expectations for about 5 years now. We've been to one Stanley Cup final. We've been to 2 other Eastern Conference finals. And I think that's the expectation of everybody in the organization. And anything less than Stanley Cup will be disappointing for us this year.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It is. Happy Tuesday, everybody, and welcome inside the bunker here in Western Canada. It is episode number 511 of the RP Show. Still haven't got my headphone worked. How's it look, though?
Looks great.
Okay, that's the main thing.
Looks awesome.
Look good, feel good.
Oh, yeah.
You ready to talk sports?
Of course.
I'm very excited about the program today. I'm excited every day, but our good friend Michael Landsberg's joining us from, can I just say TSN's Off the Record?
Yeah, you can.
How long has it been since that's been on the air?
That's what they should have called the radio show that they're doing.
Off the Record, no kidding.
Yeah.
I think he's doing okay, though. What do they call the show he's on, Clark? Get Up? First Up. I thought it was Get Up. Michael Landsberg will be with us. And then Andy MacNeil from the Vegas Sports and Information Network from VSIN. Andy MacNeil will join us to talk numbers, talk Stanley Cup playoffs, and all the rest. But just before we jump into the quick six, I got to say this. I haven't watched as much ESPN Get Up as I would like because I was sitting outside on the patio these not hot but nice mornings here in the sweatpants capital. And as a matter of fact, today I was a little behind getting ready because I'm like, just a few more minutes out here having my coffee and enjoying the sunshine and the birds chirping.
Tell me about it. Yeah, it's the same thing. I was on the water and it was 8:30. I was still in the water. I'm like, I got to shower yet? I got to get to the office.
Exactly.
It was one of those. You just can't pull yourself away.
You have to understand something. You people that are watching this show where the weather's great 12 months a year, it's not here. So when you get a few days that you can sit outside in the morning and have coffee and you don't want to leave.
That's right.
Right? So that was me today. But maybe we should take the show outdoors one day. What do you think?
That'd be cool.
Let's go with the quick six show topics, please. Enough lollygagging. Let's go. Number one, the Tampa Bay Lightning eviscerate the New York Islanders last night, 8-0 in Game 5 of that Stanley Cup playoff series, that semifinal. And the Lightning go up 3-2. And I'm watching the game, and I'm like, this is not a game. Did you watch any of it? What were you doing last night?
I watched it.
Wasn't even enjoyable.
No, it wasn't.
It was 3-0 before I even knew what was going on. And then Rich Sutter was texting me with his thoughts on the game, and we're going back and forth. And I said, listen, it's not over. Varlamov isn't going to crap the bed again. It reminded me so much of Vegas losing 7-1 to Colorado in Game 1 of round 2. Like, the world was ending then, remember? And our good friend Dave Randorf, I heard him this morning on NHL radio as I was driving in here saying, looks like the Lightning are moving on to the Stanley Cup final. I'm like, Rambo!
You know better.
You don't have 4 yet. Rambo, you should know better. They don't have 4 yet. And the Islanders are going to come back on Wednesday night, just frothing at the mouth. So I don't think this thing is over, but I agree with the pundits, and I saw what Craig Button said, like the Lightning just steamrolled them. They just flew by them like it was the Autobahn in Germany. The Islanders should be embarrassed. I guess I'd rather lose 8-0 than 1-0 in overtime. They're going to be embarrassed. The Lightning might be feeling a little fat about themselves going into Long Island, thinking this is going to be easy. So despite 8-0 and the game really sucked, series ain't over.
No, it's not. And I don't really put this on the goaltenders. I mean, it is. I mean, they played poorly, but the whole team, up and down the ice and those chances, and sometimes the pucks just go in. It wasn't that they were always just going through you, but yeah, that's top to bottom, a tough one for the Islanders. But Barry Trotz will have them ready. Game 6 is back at home. I could very much see this series going 7 games. Very much.
Darren Workman's watching in Salt Lake City. He says, is 8-0 in hockey like 63-0 in football? Just asking. Yeah, it is. I mean, you can sit and laugh at the Islanders all you want. It was one game and it's a loss. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says you don't see a playoff game that one-sided very often. You don't, but I just mentioned we saw Canada's team, the Golden Knights, lose in Colorado 7-1 in Game 1. Now, there's a difference between Game 1 of Round 2 and Game 5 of a semifinal, Round 3. There's a big difference there, yes, but the result is the same. And I expect this to go 7, but it just sounds to me like the Islanders, I should say, it sounds to me like the Lightning think that it's over and they're going to be going to the Stanley Cup final, which incidentally, I was reading The Athletic this morning too, and I got this. Where the heck is it? Here's the likelihood, Darren, from The Athletic, going to the Stanley Cup final, actually winning the Stanley Cup, 51% of winning the Stanley Cup the Tampa Bay Lightning have right now, based on their analytics.
That means the other 3 teams are fighting over the other 49%.
Exactly, and Vegas has a 36% chance. The Montreal Canadiens have an 8% chance, and the Islanders down to 6%. That's of winning it all. Okay, but for Tampa Bay to advance to the next round, they have an 80% chance, according to the Athletics analytics.
Wow.
You believe in that stuff?
That?
I do, but you have to play the games.
Right.
Yeah, the chance is there and for betting and stuff like that, but it doesn't mean that they're going to win. You have to play the games. I very much see that series going 7. I really can. Be a much different game in Game 6.
So to point 2, Braden Point, who adorns our desk every day, he's right here in his Warrior jersey. He's got an 8-game goal-scoring streak on the go, and that's 2 off the record of Reggie the Rifle Leach. And I guess last night, after the game, Point talked about this streak, and he's like, I don't even want to talk about it, guys. And I don't think he does want to talk about it. He wants to talk about winning another Stanley Cup. Maybe that would have been a good poll question. Is Braden Point going to hit the 10-game streak and tie Reggie the Rifle Leach? Because do you know how hard it is to score in the National Hockey League? Score, period. Do you think he's going to hit it?
I don't know.
It's so hard.
So hard. And when you get so close.
He makes it look easy.
Yeah, sure he does. You start thinking now about it, and people are talking about it. And, yeah, maybe you find a way to keep it alive because you put him out there with an empty net or something, too. But he's just so good. And I remember Tim Hunter when he was at the Moose Jaw Warriors. Now, Tim coached at the World Juniors. He coached the Moose Jaw Warriors, some really good teams. And he's in the NHL, too, an assistant coach. And he said he had never seen anybody that saw the ice and can distribute the puck the way Braden Point did. He didn't talk about his goal scoring. Now we're seeing he's got that too. The ability to shoot the puck and score. I mean, just a special player to watch and a player who does not crumble in big moments. So it leads me to believe he's got a real good shot.
It's wild. We're seeing a lot of players that are better in the NHL than they were in junior.
Yeah.
Mark Stone, Braden Point, Carey Price, which incidentally, that's our poll question today for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center. Who's the top candidate for the Conn Smythe Trophy as playoff MVP as we sit here today? Your options are Nikita Kucherov, Alex Pietrangelo, Braden Point, and Carey Price. And on Twitter, Carey Price is leading with 43% of the vote, and I see on Facebook even more. They love Carey Price in this country. 55% of the vote. So moving on, point 3, Montreal at Vegas tonight. The odds makers, by the way, those athletic odds makers and analytics people are going with Marc-Andre Fleury, although on NHL, like that he'll start tonight for Vegas, which I think he should. But then on NHL radio this morning, they thought it should be Robin Leonard and it was a slam dunk, and why are we even talking about it? So it's literally like a 50-50 proposition. Can we watch, Clark? Make sure we find out who's first off.
I was going to say,
morning skate today for
probably
Vegas.
An hour or two, we should know who's in the starter's net and who's off first at the morning skate and who's going to start tonight. I said it. I'm going with Fleury. If I'm the Knights, I'm going to Fleury. It's not an elimination game. You know, if it was, I'd maybe consider Leonard the hot hand. You know, you're kind of nervous about who to start. But the plan is that Fleury's the guy. So go right back. You gave him the rest. Now go right back to your guy. It's on plan. The locker room understands. No, we're right where we need to be, right on track.
Well, the talk this morning on NHL radio was that Fleury, he made a mistake. How long does he have to pay for his mistake? Because he's not the only guy that made a mistake. And that's why I think that he should start.
That's right.
He's the guy. But I'm like, why are you guys saying Leonard should start? Whatever. I enjoy the talk. I enjoy the banter. All these Habs fans that are getting so hurt. I hope we're still friends when we emerge from this. You understand it's just a game, right? Like, you don't need to really get that upset and hate me because I'm cheering for the team that's playing yours. It's unbelievable when you think that friendships get ruined over sports.
Oh, I know.
It's so stupid. Anyways, point 4. We still got a lot of time here in the warm-up for eCall Electric, your complete electrical distributor with locations in Regina, Estevan, Swift Current, Yorkton, and Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. eCall Electric. Let's get to work right after coffee. Robin Leonard did come out after the game the other night and thanked the media for motivating him. Did you see the clip?
Of course.
And I love it. Like, in a lot of ways, I wish Leonard would just shut his mouth, but in a lot of ways, people wish that I would just shut my mouth. And it's just not going to happen.
How about that?
Right. So, Robin, you go, guy. If that's what it takes to motivate you, because if they start him tonight, I'll be comfortable. As a Golden Knights fan, I really will. I would rather start Fleury. I'm a Fleury fan, but the haters. The haters. I mean, where would we be without our haters? We haven't talked about that for a while. It motivated Robin Lehner to put up the plywood the other night in a 2-1 overtime win. So I get a kick out of the haters. They get me out of bed in the morning. Thank you. Thank you. Because you've motivated me to do all the things that I've done.
I know.
So I totally get where Leonard's coming from. I don't talk about it a whole lot. He talks about it a lot.
He said he shows up at the rink 4 hours before the game. Takes his own bus, and for 2 hours he reads Twitter and sees all the things people are saying about him, and that motivates him. You know, the media, he says, so he's like, when you guys write all this, crap about me, I go for 2 hours. And then the team shows up, and I, do my thing with them. Couldn't believe it. I don't know if it's true or not, if he actually shows up 4 hours before to read Twitter, but it gets him going. It does. It fuels you.
Oh, I love this. Like just with the show, people are saying it wouldn't last. Look where we are. Rolling on.
Keep telling us what we can't do.
Keep it coming. Point 5, Carl Nasib comes out as the NFL's first active gay player from the Vegas Raiders yesterday. And tell me if you're the same as me. First thing I thought when I saw that, I got a notification on my phone. Raiders, Carl Nasib comes out as first openly gay player in the NFL. My mind immediately went to Michael Sam, like immediately. But I watched the coverage on SportsCenter, as I always do, and I didn't realize that Sam, although he signed and went to training camp, played 4 games in the preseason for the Rams, he never played in a regular season game. I know guys that played with Michael Sam in St. Louis and in Montreal. Michael Sam's another story. Here's the problem with Michael Sam. He just wasn't that good. Remember when he was drafted and he stood up and planted a big old wet one on his partner remember that draft? And it was like, whoa! We were all like, I guess that was his coming out party on draft day. But the problem was he just wasn't that great a player. Carl Nassib seems to be like a great player. I don't know too much about him. But I just say, like everybody, like the Raiders are backing him, everybody in the NFL's backing him. And of all the commentary that came out about Carl Nassib, what I liked the best was from Roger Goodell. If you saw his statement, the commissioner of the NFL said, I look forward to a day where this is not headline making. How about that?
I agree. I think there will be a day. We have to just understand it doesn't happen like that. But these are the little steps that need to take place, whether we're dealing with your sexuality, whether we're dealing with racism. Yeah. It's not going to be fixed like this. But every little step that we take is positive. And our kids and our grandkids will grow up in a world that's completely different. We might not, but if we take the steps now, they will live in a better world where this isn't headline news. And you're right with Michael Sam. We have to be able to separate football and the other stuff. Doesn't mean that you can't come out and be openly gay and be on the football team, but at the same time, we can't keep you on the football team just because you're gay either, and because it's great and we don't want to, look like we're hating because we cut you. You have to still be good at football. But the fact that, he's comfortable to come out. I saw Warren Moon saying that he played with several, gay players that didn't come out. And they're all great players and they're all great teammates. And he can only imagine how tough it was. So this is a huge step in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure. But there's a stigma to that. But I am in a minority of people in recovery from addiction. And there's a huge, huge stigma there. So many guys that I talk with on a daily basis just petrified of it getting out that they're in recovery from alcohol addiction, drug addiction, or whatever addictions it may be. So that we got a lot of work to do there too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I battle the stigma there as well. And the funny thing is, I come in here every day. You get the best of me better than anybody ever has as an employer, right? So I'm like, well, how is there a stigma with that? This is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
But there is. So whatever, we move on. My last point, and it's a big one. Here's what I have written. Point 6, more CFL vets to retire? Question mark. Yesterday, Chad Jeter and Braden Tex Schramm from the Saskatchewan Roughriders. This morning, Derek Dennis, good friend of ours, the Bone Crusher, good friend of yours too. Basically saying I'm not going to play football in 2021, but I'm not retiring. You should go read his Twitter. He said, football is not providing the livelihood for me to support my young family that it once did. So I'm not playing this year, but I'm not retiring. Here we go again. I don't know exactly the reasons behind that other than Derek Dennis is a very honest guy. If this is the reason why he's hanging it up for now, then that's why he's hanging it up for now. Garrick Jones came on this show during the pandemic early on. The commish, remember the commish out of Houston? CFL, NFL vet. He goes, there's going to be so much pain and sacrifice made in the CFL moving forward. Here we are. You're popping champagne, you're throwing streamers. Woo, 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 we're back playing. You're so far away from it being good in the CFL right now. And you're just seeing it more. So maybe we can get Derek Dennis on to talk about his decision, but every day we're going to hear more.
It's a lot of pain. Yeah, and we've heard from coaches that there's going to be more retirements. They got to get these rosters down too, and who's in shape and who's not. And, it's a tough decision. You want to hang on and hopefully collect another paycheck and a signing bonus and whatever you can do. And with Dennis, not retiring, but he's not playing football. These guys don't want to stop playing. They love football.
Of course.
They don't want to leave the game, but they got to do what's right for their families. And I respect that.
Nelson Hackowich will end it on this, one of our viewers, one of our P1s. Rod said it last year. The CFL will look very different the next time we take the field. Unquote. Oh, no, but Rod's a hater. Rod's just negative. Rod's just a jerk. No. Rod's telling it the way that it is, and everybody's just going to catch up sooner or later. So keep it here, where it's real, every day. And doesn't get much more real than Michael Landsberg, our good friend from TSN 1050 Toronto. He'll be with us next. This has been the warm-up brought to you by eCold Electric. You're watching on Game Plus TV, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full-Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say, and I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, Give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. RP Show continues. Minor emergency in the break. Prairie Mobile text line is open as always, 306-840-8777. And Darren, I panicked.
Yep.
Because I looked down here at the phone and it says, hey, Game Plus Master Control here. We appear to have lost our call. If you could give us a call back. And I'm like, I'm just a pretty face sitting behind the mic, dude.
But I will tell you.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily, and they'll correct us, but doesn't necessarily mean they lost the feed. So they've got a feed, but they're on the phone, letting us know when we're coming back from commercial, keeping those things up. So losing the phone doesn't really alarm me. Not a big deal. We're not a big deal.
No, but I'm just saying I panicked. Clark just said in my ear, we're 100% fine. Okay. I don't know. Crisis averted, I guess. I thought there was smoke coming out of the Millennium Falcon back here. And we're awaiting Michael Landsberg joining us from TSN. Clark says he hasn't logged in yet. But you know what? I think we got enough gas on the fire here that we can keep going just fine. Now, here's another thing. While we have a minute. I'm not proud of this trait of mine, but I'm very persnickety when it comes to on-air stuff. Similar to Howard Stern, right?
Yeah.
If it's not just exactly the way, I'm just not right. And I had an engineer at the radio station who hated me.
Of course.
My headphones had to be just the right way, just at the right volume. My mic had to come in the left side of my, not from the right, or I couldn't do the game. Couldn't do the game. And this headphone keeps popping and breaking, and it's not any of these guys' fault at all, but it's dropping in and out. So I'm just thinking, should I keep going with this? Or how about the old school this? Because you said it's a radio show.
Yeah.
Right? What do you think? What do you think, folks?
You know what? It would take some getting used to. Like, I wear the full earbuds, and I think people are used to it. It looks pretty good.
It's a radio show.
It's a radio show. I think people will get used to it. I mean, you don't want to do the two earbuds. That doesn't work for you.
Not at all. Can't do it.
You can't do it.
But it's a very full resonant sound in these things,
which makes you also feel good as a radio guy.
Yes,
you want to hear that full body sound.
Right. So we're working on it. Okay. Sean McCormick's watching in the Game Plus studio in downtown Toronto, and he says, "Don't diminish yourself, Rod. You're more than a pretty face. The feed is perfect. All is well," which is perfect to bring in the prettiest face, Michael Landsberg. From TSN 1050. Let's do it. Can we get him on the screen? Now we can't hear him.
I wasn't talking.
We got you. How you doing, Mike?
You know, I'm really good. I was just on a call. Hey, wait a second. I don't have to tell you who I was on a call with, but I just said literally 30 seconds ago, oh my God, I got to hang up on you right now. I'll call you back later on. I'm supposed to be on with Rod. And she went, what? So she got the point when I clicked off, and here I am. And I'd like to respond to, the earbuds and the headphones.
Please do.
So I think that the earbuds with the wire, with the cord, are really good. But if you wear the earbuds without the cord, with the Bluetooth ones, you look like midlife crisis man with two earrings. And honestly, like I go, oh my God, it looks like I'm wearing earrings, which nobody, God bless you if you want to wear earrings, great. But, not my style 100%. So I think the wire sends the message, I'm not wearing earrings. These are functional.
What do you wear in the morning on the radio? Cans, as we say back in the day in radio?
Yeah. Yeah, cans, but also with a bar microphone. So it's But also I do that because I'm at home, right? And I'm broadcasting from home, and we have for 15 months. So I'm at my kitchen table in the morning, and I put the headset on and got the microphone there, and it's all pretty easy. And by the way, working from home, doing a radio show is freaking awesome. Don't tell anyone I said that. You have to be really careful not to celebrate your situation during the pandemic, because you got to be aware of the fact that people have been devastated by it. People have, lost their job, that kind of devastation, but also lost people that they love, and people are permanently affected by it. But I've been so lucky because I could work from home. I get to sleep in for an extra half hour. As soon as I'm done, take the headset off and I'm done for the day. I have a 90-year-old father who has survived the pandemic. My family is all healthy. So, if I was a religious person, I would thank God for that. I'm not a religious person, so I'm going to thank Randy Ambrosi.
Well, you're spiritual, and let me say this. There's nothing wrong with being grateful and saying it, and that's what I'm hearing from you. So good for you. And I do want to come back around on mental health, if you don't mind, because why wouldn't we talk about? Well, Carl Nasib, if you don't mind, because when he comes out as the first openly gay player in the NFL active, and my mind went to Michael Sam. He was more the trailblazer than this guy. But you know what? It doesn't matter. It's not a contest. It's not a race. What do you think this means for pro sports in the NFL?
I don't think anyone's going to say it's not a good thing, right? Michael Sam, can I tell you a quick story about Michael Sam?
Absolutely.
When he played for the Alouettes, we had him on Off the Record via satellite, right? And so I start the interview, and we're talking obviously about him being, an out gay man playing professional football. And he says, I don't want to talk about that anymore. And I'm thinking, okay, dude, you're not going to make the team. You're never going to get on the field. And if you do, you're going to probably play one game. You're just another import who's come to, I didn't say this to him, but it's like, why the hell would I care what you have to say about anything else at this point, right? Like, I want to speak to you because you have done this, really important thing, and that you are gay, you are proud of being gay, you are good with the idea that people will know, and you want to play football. So it was like, oh my God, it was a terrible interview because he just wanted to talk about other stuff. And I said to him, I don't think you really want to talk CFL with me because I don't even think you probably know how many downs there are. And I wasn't being a dick when I said it. It wasn't like, oh God, I can't believe. I said it in kind of a fun way. So.
Of course you would. Keep going. I'm enjoying this so much. Keep going.
Yeah, I just remember thinking, what else are you going to talk about? Sorry, but because he had just joined the Alouettes, and you knew that he probably wasn't going to be long for the CFL because, guys who are linebackers who try out in the NFL who are slow typically, don't cut it in the CFL where you got to go sideline to sideline, right? But in terms of the news, yesterday, I can't imagine anyone saying it's a bad thing. But I think there's a limited effect because, and this actually really does tie to mental health. When I give talks, which used to be face to face and now are all virtual, when I was face to face, I would say to people, okay, I want to ask you guys some questions. How many of you think that racism is still a problem in 2021? And everyone puts up their hand, right? How many of you think that you're racist? Not many put up their hands. How many of you think the stigma around mental illness is still a problem in 2021? Everybody puts up their hand. How many of you think you're part of the problem with the stigma? No one puts up their hand. So I say either you are the most educated, well-informed, broad-minded people on the planet, or maybe you're not aware that you're part of the problem. And I think that's a lot of what we see with the news that we got yesterday is a lot of people saying, oh my God, this is great. Oh, it's so good. And oh my gosh, I can't wait for the day when we don't have to celebrate someone coming out of the closet. And a lot of those people, and I'm not saying I'm not one of them, maybe aren't as open-minded as they think they are, because everyone seems to think everyone else is part of the homophobic problem, yet no one seems to admit that they are part of the problem.
I could talk to you about this for days. 3 weeks ago, I finished a Recovery Coach Academy week-long. I had to take a week off here. Theron Fleury and I were both in it to be a certified recovery coach, which I now am. But we talked about white privilege. And it's like a lot of people that have white privilege don't even know that they have it because they've never lived outside, right? So that's the thing. But you grow up as a minority, you don't see females on the air, First Nations on the air, black people on the Asians, positions of leadership. I'm sorry to go down that road, people, but it opened my eyes because I don't consider myself a racist at all. But I'm like, Rod, you've had the best ticket in life that you didn't even know you had. It's a thing.
It's so true. And there's so much that I've reflected on because of mental health, because, mental health would be in the same category as LGBTQ, equal rights would be in the same category as racism, as bigotry when it comes to religion, as sexism. They're kind of all, marginalized groups who, in a lot of ways, are affected by other people's perception. And those people very seldom see themselves as part of the problem. America, just they don't see themselves, maybe because they don't want to, or maybe because some of them are lying. But, you talk to Americans about people of color and how they're so behind the curve, and how, black people in the United States make, I don't know what the percentage is, 20%, say, of what white people make. Like, how is that acceptable? And how is it possible that doesn't tell you that somebody's success in life is dictated by their race, their opportunities are dictated by race? So I think that we are, perhaps to some extent, especially in the U.S., going in the wrong direction. And in Canada, when you have First Nations topics that come up, people deny the fact that we stole their land and that we oppressed them and that we continue to. In a lot of people's minds, you are on. You're in. I was at Fond du Lac, Saskatchewan. Do you know Fond du Lac?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I went there to speak at a high school. And there's people that believe that Fond du Lac, Saskatchewan is impoverished because they're lazy, because this is what they choose. They choose to drink. They choose to have kids when they're 15 years old. It's like, I'm just getting worked up like you were now. I'm getting pissed off. I'm getting pissed off at just how, it's... Okay.
Oh, you're done? Okay. Well, I'm not
started, done, but...
Well, I know, but listen, it's a sports show, and that's what people are saying, stick to sports. But I just started to learn about generational trauma and what's encoded in your DNA when you experience it and you pass it along to your kids, blah, blah, blah. It's a topic, Michael, for another time. Can I just divert this back just to the Stanley Cup?
Make sure that you have me on, because don't forget, in my life, I get told all the time, don't talk about politics. You see, I'm like... I've become obsessed. When Donald Trump came down the escalator and he announced that he was running, I became obsessed with my hatred for him. And as time has gone on, it's not like it's been alleviated. Watching 30,000 lies and watching Americans now, and I won't go on about this, but saying, January 6th, it was just looked like a normal tourist day. I'm like going, what world do we live in, where it's now become acceptable to lie? So bring me back and we'll talk about that. But as for now, we should talk about what you want to talk about.
Well, just Jordan Ewart writes in, he's watching on YouTube. He says, trauma is a real thing. Sports and culture also goes together, people. It's 2021. Don't hide from these conversations. But I'm just saying, Michael and I could go on for literal hours on this because we're fascinated by it. I just want to leave you with this. The Stanley Cup playoffs, I saw Pierre LeBrun saying on SportsCenter last night, expect the unexpected. How awesome have they been in your mind?
I'm in Toronto, dude.
Sorry.
They've sucked. I actually was brought up on the Leafs. So I in my house growing up, the biggest thing was the Argos, by far in my house. My grandfather was a season's ticket holder in 19 40, right after the war at Varsity Stadium. And he brought my dad up on the Argos, who brought me and my brother up on the Argos. And the Maple Leafs, my dad didn't love them as much as he loved the Argos, but, he was a Leaf fan, or is a Leaf fan, and I inherited that. So I was super pissed off, super disappointed, and super, I think that we were all cheated because of the pandemic and our inability to fill stadiums or arenas. The hockey that we saw, was nothing like you see with the intensity. Like tonight in Vegas, it will be insane. It will be awesome. It will feel like just watching people. My daughter and I watch basketball together, and she's going, "Oh my God, look at those people. Those people in Brooklyn are going nuts. I want to be able to go nuts in that kind of environment." So I think the playoffs have been really good. I think the playoffs in the NBA have been really good. Part of that is because, it's kind of the freshness of actually seeing live sporting events with engaged crowds. I'm disappointed in the Maple Leafs. I hope the Habs lose. I hope they lose. I was hoping for 4, then 5. Now I'll take 6. I live on a street where I'm walking outside. I'm walking my dog, and guys are going, "Hey, Landsberg, Leafs didn't do so good. How about those Habs?" It's like, leave me alone.
I know it, man. Thanks for your honesty, because I get bitten all the time on things that I say, Michael. So thanks for keeping it real.
You're awesome. This was fun. I know you probably got to get rid of me now, but as soon as I click off, I'm just going to keep talking and pretending I'm talking to you, Rod.
It's been fun.
Rod, that's a great question. It's fun to talk about. We built OTR on the social, moral, and political issues of sport. And then we evolved from that when we realized that we had kind of played it out. But, I love the idea of talking about right and wrong more than I love the idea of talking right wing, left wing.
Oh, I know. Me too. I know. All right, Michael, thanks. I appreciate the time. Let's do it again soon. The iconic Michael Landsberg joining us from the Big Smoke. And we are, as he pointed out, late for a break. So we'll be right back with a sports update, viewer takeover. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV network across all 10 provinces and 31 states. Carried in Ontario on Rogers and Cogeco Cable. Live on YouTube and Facebook daily and 24-hour sports radio for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Ultimate Fan Zone. Shop online. UltimateFanZone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. UltimateFanZone.ca or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFC Downtown Moose Jaw. Home of everything authentic.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
So now I'm going to give this a go. What do you think, Moose?
I'm into it.
I think it looks actually cooler than I thought.
Yeah, I kind of think we almost need bigger ones. Like
For our listeners that are listening live at rodpedersen.com/listen live or tuned into the podcast, I'm wearing headphones now. Cans, as we say in the radio business.
And how good do you sound?
I don't know if I sound any different. I feel better, and that's the main thing.
Yeah.
We're going to get into some old-time off-the-record stories. Every time Landsberg comes on, that just comes up. And the story of me bombing on Off the Record. It was like one of the worst days of my life. It was a very funny story, though. But a sports update, Steven Stamkos had 2 goals and a helper, and Andrei Vasilevsky notched his 4th career playoff shutout, helping the Tampa Bay Lightning rout the Islanders 8-0 in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Lightning up 3-2 now. Game 6 goes Thursday on Long Island. With tip-off of its 3rd season coming Thursday, the Canadian Elite Basketball League has announced that Edmonton, home of the 2020 champion Edmonton Stingers, will host the 2021 CEBL Championship weekend from August 18th to the 22nd at the Edmonton Expo Center. In Monday's announcement, the league also unveiled its playoff schedule, which will begin August 14th. The 2021 CEBL season tips off Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, as the Ottawa Blackjacks host the Niagara River Lions at TD Place. The Hamilton Honey Badgers take on the defending CEBL champion Stingers in Edmonton on Saturday in a game that will be nationally televised on CBC. Fraser Valley hosts Saskatchewan that evening to complete this season's opening weekend of action. Do you know what I hear a lot, Moose, from people in this land? How come nobody covers the CEBL but you? I don't know the answer to that. Do you?
No, but we're here for it.
The Buffalo Bills have received the green light from New York State health officials to return to full capacity for home games this season. Vaccinated and unvaccinated fans will be allowed to attend, though unvaccinated folks will be required to wear masks under federal guidelines. And Las Vegas Raiders defensive end Carl Nasib has become the first active NFL player to come out as gay. Nasib announced the news on Instagram, saying he wasn't doing it for the attention, but because he thinks that representation and visibility are important. This sports update for the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store, and for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. So let's load them up the rest of the way with whatever the heck you want to talk about. Robin Wildy, watching in the Gateway to the North, says it looks like Rod is plugged into a Walkman. Is that an insult or a compliment? Do you know what a Walkman is, by the way, son?
How about that?
Of course I do. So in Wynyard, sometimes we could get the city radio stations, the country stations. So you'd put the tape in with the play and the pause button on, right, and record.
Yeah.
Anyways, you have what they call on-ear headphone size. On-ear. We need to get the over-ear ones, which are a little bit bigger. I think then it would look less like, I think, you know, the foam padded Walkman headphones that just sit on top of your ear?
Yeah, well, they work. And at this stage of my life, that's all I care about. Like Velcro shoes. They work. Functional
is better. Yeah.
I like what producer Clark says. Rod's here like, good morning, Vietnam.
This is not a test.
This is not
rock
a
and
test.
roll.
Follow the Ho Chi Minh Trail.
I'll get you.
Mandy in Edmonton. I remember the first song I heard on a Walkman was Vanilla Ice. Ice, Ice, Baby. That was playing the other day. Where the heck was I? Was I with you?
Yeah.
It was playing somewhere. And I thought about this 90s concert they had in the Agrodome a couple years ago. Pre-pandemic times, kids. And it was Vanilla Ice and Salt and Pepper and I think Destiny's Child.
Yep.
And apparently, because I didn't go, but damn, I wish I had. When he busted into Ice Ice Baby, like the roof came off the place, like eyes in the. Everybody went nuts. Can you imagine? House party.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh yeah.
And then it would just.
Guy looks a lot like Ricky Foley. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Looks like Ricky Foley.
I feel like this show right now is very close to going right off into the ditch, and we'll have no interest in bringing it back onto the road.
No interest. Yeah.
Just letting it roll. Oh. Tacona Powley in Winnipeg says, Rod,